Morning, everyone. I have 9 o'clock. The Mackinac Bridge Authority will now be called to order. Today's date is March 13th, 2026. I'd like to ask everybody to please rise in remembrance of our former chairman, Bill Ganati. Chairman Ganati faithfully discharged his duties as a member of the Mackinac Bridge Authority for 21 years. 16 of those 21 years he served as chair of the Mackinac Bridge Authority. May Bill's soul and all the souls in favor are rest in peace. Amen. Thank you. We have next on the agenda before we get into the approval of the agenda, I have a couple quick announcements. Number one is I'd like to congratulate our Vice Chair, Bill Milliken, and our Chair of the Gold Treason Committee, Caroline Cheeseman, on their reappointments to the Mackinac Bridge Authority. So we have the pleasure of working with them for several more years. Thank you both. And as well, for the record, I certainly want to welcome our new Chief Engineer, Larry Duputsky, to the Mackinac Bridge Authority meeting, and we look forward to working with you in the future as well. Thank you. Anything you want to say? Or?
Sure.
Yeah, please do.
Take a quick moment here. Just thanks everybody for being a part of the team here at the Mackinac Bridge Authority. I'm excited to be here. I've been here since last December, and just getting my feet underneath me in the new role. And very pleased to be here. I come with a significant amount of prior MDOT experience, now rounded up to 25 years, and both in the design and the construction area of MDOT. Received my engineering degree while at the MDOT in their educational support program. So that was a wonderful benefit of being a team member at the MDOT. Spent the last 6 years in private consulting, which really rounded out my experience leading both field engineering teams, a design team, and a lead construction on a project right downtown here. So I try to bring that experience to bear on my current position, and was very fortunate to be selected for this role. And the team here is working with me and has been very supportive of me, and so I'm going to do my best to discharge my duties, as the chief engineer, and protect and be a good steward for one of the state's premier infrastructure assets. So delighted to be here, and thanks for the opportunity. Thank you, and really look forward to working with you. And I like your idea about the concept. Wonderful approach. Thank you. Okay, the first item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. I do have one addition I'd like to put on the agenda with the boards or the authorities approval, and that it would be under 8C, the Labor Management Committee. This will be a closed session. So a motion would be in order if there's no further additions, corrections, or deletions to accept the amended.
I have a motion that I can submit. I move that the board meet.
Just do it then. Is there a
I move we approve the agenda with the addition of the closed session.
A second.
It's been moved, supported. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Anyone from the public wishing to address the Mackinac Bridge Authority? Anyone from the public wishing to address the Mackinac Bridge Authority? Seeing no hands being raised, we will move right to item 3, and the first 2 items under the agenda is the Finance Committee meeting and the tolls and fees classification committee meeting. Accept them as not the approval, but the acceptance of the minutes. Is there a motion to do so? It's been moved and accepted that the Finance Committee meeting be approved or accepted, as well as the total fees and classification committee. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The minutes of the official meeting of the Mackinac Bridge Authority, November 7th, 2005. Is there a motion to accept those minutes?
I move approval.
Been moved. Is there support?
Support.
Been moved and supported to accept the official Mackinac Bridge meeting minutes of November 7th, 2005. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Larry, you're up on the agenda as the 2026 Canadian Maintenance Project update.
So I'll take one quick moment, and everybody saw my long Polish name. I answered to pretty much anything. I've heard every pronunciation out there. The family goes by Dropeski but I don't expect anybody to remember that. Larry Z is fine, or just Dropeski. So, but it's obviously a little bit condensed pronunciation and a simplified. So, all right. Well, getting into things with the giving you an update on where we're at. Obviously, 2026 and the winter has been a challenge so far. Weather-wise, there's been a lot going on. We've kept our maintenance crews very busy, clearing and plowing, and unfortunately had a few delays in the process due to some falling ice situations. So, but we did want to point out that we're overall the delays on the bridge due to the falling ice. We recently had a memo come out from the state, our communications folks, which summarized that there's been 188 hours over 30 years, which is really a relatively small amount, less than 0.1% of the total operational time since it's been tracked for the last 30 years. Now we got to add a little bit of that time from yesterday onto that number, unfortunately, but we're doing what we can to monitor the situation and react as quickly as we can to keeping everybody's safety in mind. And we watch it closely. We have a great team of people at the bridge that are very keyed in, dialed into the active conditions there. So bear in mind, we're still, we're learning, obviously, and I'm learning specifically the impacts of that. But all in all, we're doing our job and keeping our folks safe and keeping them from a little bit of inconvenience in the process, but safety first. So we do have some projects going on during the winter months for our folks, in between going out on the road and plowing. We've been upgrading the maintenance and administration buildings of the facility there in the maintenance area. We've done the ladies' restroom area. We've done hallways. We've done our feed technicians' office area. Done some nice upgrades over there and cleaned up the place and spruced it up a little bit. And we've also working in the currently in the administration building, replacing the restroom facilities in both ladies and the metro. So that's a full remodeling. It's pretty old and dated. So we're gonna look at that. We're gonna get the finishes done. We think by mid-April at this point. We've got another top on order that once that comes in, then we put it all together. We're done with that project. Recently replacing the boiler, which provides hot water, heating the administration building as well. So we're been keeping busy with several projects. look, I don't, make sure, make sure I don't miss anything. Let's get on to the, winter operations, on summer, so upcoming seasonal maintenance activity, obviously we're preparing for the 2026 summer months and our maintenance work there. We got, currently had a water truck that we sent back down to the outfitter at Flint, to replace and upgrade a power takeoff to the pump unit from the engine. They did that at no charge because there was a little issue with the offset of the drive shaft, and so for long-term maintenance, they stepped up and fixed that for us. Right. So we were very pleased with that. Currently about 30 deck sections of grading ready for installation as needed this year. We're evaluating the list of grades that need to be replaced, and we expect to use many of those this summer when our crews are fully staffed up. And we're currently adding staff for our seasonal bridge painting and maintenance crews. So we have a few offers out. I believe targeting at least 5 additional staff, and in addition to we're bringing back. Nice to get up to 8, but get 5, that'd be great. So we have a fully staffed or fully outfitted new boat. Pure Pressure is its name. So as we had a naming contest internally, those who participated in that, thank you for putting in your suggestions and then voting on it. So our Pure Pressure boat is now ready for its first full season. And as an update, we are still in process of finishing and getting things tied up for the ice damage from the 2025 ice storm. We've got rope hand rope standoffs, which are going to be fabricated this year. We're going to start production on those. We also are going to we're finishing a final design review, and we're going to be sourcing production for the suspender cable dampeners, which is currently a kind of a rat cable system. We're going to go with it's like kind of a dog bone kind of a system, which is more typical to most of the suspension bridges that are more recently constructed. So we're working with our consultant to get a design on that. That's going to be a cast steel product, and we're going to start production on that later this year. Hopefully start installation late this year or early next year. And part of that is constructing a temporary work platform, which will assist us in doing that work. So we can design on that as well. So there's plenty of work to do this year. We're getting our painting and our crews all set, geared up for that. Starting in earnest when the weather allows, late April, we think, and we're going to have a construction safety meeting, get all the teams together. Probably early May, first to second week in May. So with that, we're looking back at our 2025 construction. We had a big project where we did several joints on the northbound work, and we did have a claim related to that for completion date on that. That was, I think you heard about that in the November minutes or the November discussion. We did have that meeting at the regional office of FDOT in Escanaba, and the results are still waiting. We're still waiting for the results for the region claims for that. So provide that information as soon as it's available. Looking ahead to this year, we have a DMS sign replacement. You can see the overhead message board signs over on the toll canopy for each of the lanes. We're going to be replacing those this year. And it's primarily due to the existing DMSs. The technology is no longer supported. It's a little outdated and we can't really obtain parts for them anymore. So we're going to be replacing those with the newer system.
Larry, when were these signs installed?
That's a good question. That predates me, but I believe they're about 10, 15 years old.
Yeah, they're less than the 20 that we wanted to get out of them. So, Yeah, maybe just around 2008 or something.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
But, so we did advertise, in November, the contract was awarded to J Rank Electric for a little under $800,000 for this work. We brought on AECom, which was our designer, to provide some design assistance during construction, as well as Wade Trim as the construction oversight engineering for all the work that's underway. So obviously our team, Access, Bridge Access, PM, and supports both design and construction folks during the installation. We had several team meetings with the members. We coordinated some action areas to pre-test the message boards over by the state police post. So that's going to facilitate a rapid installation on these message boards when they arrive on site, and retest them and know that they're going to function well instead of installing them and then find out something's wrong with them and have to take it down and delay the final installation. So we anticipate that work is going to be done by early June, probably the Memorial Day, but we'll go back and forth on some of the specifications specific to these boards and getting that all ironed out before the order is placed by the contractor. So we have to find a window right after Memorial Day to do that, but we'll still see depending on the delivery date. So that's kind of it for the upcoming construction this year. And doing a design for a new storage shed for a sand storage area. So we're going to cover our sand, the weather off, and let it stay a little drier during so it's easier to move. It doesn't freeze up in the winter months. So that's on cue as far as construction of that, probably next year. But we'll get the design done this year. So there was work that was deferred on the M00239 project, the one that I mentioned that had the claim meetings up in Escanaba. So that work is going to be packaged and put out to bid later this year for construction in 2027. So that'll be pavements, replacement and joint work for each side of the suspended stand structure on the southbound side. That's pretty much it from my, any questions? Brad, want to move ahead? No, I don't have any questions from the authority members from Larry and from the board. So
Question, I saw the 180 hours historically that the bridge has been closed over the last 30 years. So this year, as you pointed out, does seem to be a bit disproportionate, and maybe last year as well. Maybe more questions for Kim. And so Kim was kind enough to provide me some data and whatnot. Is technology advancing at all to help solve for this problem? In the concern being where climate's apparently headed, does this trend continue towards the future, and what the impact of that is not only on those that are traveling and on you all, but what it means for the local economies as well.
I shared that big, long technical study with you recently. I need to reread it myself a few more times, but a lot of the big bridge owners, I'm going to move over there because they're having a hard time hearing us on the TV land. They've been studying this around the world because it happens in all kinds of areas like ours that have bad snowy weather. And so there've been a lot of research projects done on how to handle the ice and prevent the ice. And if you remember from the conclusion of that study, they didn't reach any wonderful ideas about how to handle it. So they're still studying things like paint that sheds the ice, and that is mainly for the aviation industry, but bridge owners are looking at that closely too to see if something rises to the surface there that we could use. But nobody's come up with a wonderful idea. And in fact, I know there was some discussions yesterday about the Gordie Howe, and they they didn't come up with any wonderful idea either, so. I do think that it's more in the news lately because of our communications. And so back in the day, we didn't tweet things, we didn't put it on our website, we didn't do all that. So people might not have known that we were closed for a couple of hours. But now everybody everywhere knows that. So it does make it look like it's happening more frequently.
As I mentioned to Kim, Mr. Chair, there's, I think, an interest by the legislature to have a study specifically for the Mackinac Bridge and whether or not there's some opportunity that technology could solve for this. So, you know, that's of interest. I think Representative Preston and Martin are really interested in that type of engagement to make a determination specifically for the Mackinac Bridge as to whether or not there may be a way to solve for this. And my understanding or maybe expectation for those conversations would be that it wouldn't be at the expense of the bridge or MDOT. This would be money that they would go to the legislature for, in light of what the implications are, not only the travel, but like I said, the concern the economy.
That's a very valid point. Thank you for raising that. And Kim, thank you for your response and where we're at now. I think based on the latter part of Marty's comments here, if they wish to take it upon themselves that study, I think it would be a great idea that if they could work into the appropriation process to include these studies specifically for the Mackinac Bridge. I certainly wouldn't have any objection to it. Do you think that we need to further put it on the legislative committee to talk about the situation a little bit more in depth?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, Mr. Chair, and, you know, maybe even bring them in directly to the conversation to see what their
Yes,
expectations of us would be.
yeah,
So,
I certainly would. If there's no objection, then we'll put that on the agenda of the legislative committee to look into that possibility and hopefully have some more detailed information for us at the July meeting. Very good. Very good. Any other comments from any members to Larry's report? Thank you, Larry. Very, very thank you. We appreciate it a great deal. Yeah, I think Larry took care of 4 and 5. Good job at it. Number 6 is the legislative update. Yes, you have the phone.
We are in, thank you, tab number 6, and Melissa's passing out one more document that I'd like you to have related to some legislation that's being considered right now. I'm first going to talk about the key facility legislation, of which there are now 3 bills to talk about. The 2 bills that we had been talking about, let's see, Senate Bill 71 and House Bill 4470 are kind of in a stall. You can see Senate Bill 71 was referred to the Rules Committee back in mid-February. So we're not quite sure what that means for Senate Bill 71. House Bill 4470 is kind of in a stall from December, where it was referred to the Transportation Committee.
And just as point of information, those 2 bills were correct.
They're exactly identical.
Yeah.
Exactly identical. Senate Bill 71 was well on its way to getting approved, and then House Bill 4470 suddenly came about, and so now the 2 are, as I said, they're kind of stalled, but they're still in play in the legislature. We had a third one come up, House Bill 5465 in January of 26. And this relates to the same key facility statute, and this one will add certain other facilities to the key facility statute, like railroad tunnels, data centers, and battery storage facilities that are in the news lately. Apparently there was some effort tried to get the Mackinac Bridge wrapped into that bill, but that didn't happen. So they chose to submit it the way it is. I think I included it in your package. So that is the way that one is going through. So that's just getting started along its way. I wanted to make you aware, related to the key facility bills, of a collection of bills. Let's see here, that is related to the uncrewed aircraft systems or drones. And MDOT's following this very closely because they're quite involved in this series of bills. And so you'll find some information in your packet about that and the information that Melissa has just handed out. So in your packet, I show all the bills that are included in this group. And one of the things they do is one of those bills, I don't know which one, prohibits flying drones or trespassing on any key facility. And so if we were a key facility, this would be nice for us, but since we are not, it doesn't apply to us. So that's what we have let them know. It doesn't apply to us, even though we might want to prohibit drones from flying over the Mackinac Bridge, which we do. But we're not a key facility. So I think the handout I gave you includes kind of an analysis of the different bills and what they might contain and what they might mean for us. So just something we're following. And as I said, MDOT's quite involved in that. Director, I don't know if you have any words to share with us from aeronautics, because I know they're looking at it closely.
I really don't, other than the fact that we are looking at it very closely. There's some things that I think can be very positive. I think one of the big things we're going to be looking at is resources available to actually implement. So we're looking closely at this.
Yeah, it's quite heavy in what it asks MDOT to do. So,
Yes.
Yeah. Any questions?
Thank you, Kim. Any questions, Kim? Very thorough report. Thank you. Hearing none, thank you very much, Kim. Under new business, like Lee from the Bridge Services Manager. So it's a pleasure to see you, Michael.
Good morning, everybody. Always nice to see everybody. A little lighter topic to talk about this morning. Our special events for 2026, always very popular with the surrounding communities. A lot of these are repeat events, so we're pretty well versed in them. Participation continues to increase in these events. I'm showing 9 events for the 2026 season. Starting in the spring, we have 1 in May, 1 in June, 1 in July, 1 in August. Beginning with the Jeep the Mac, that's May 8th this year. That has about 500 vehicles that participate in that event. Very popular, well-received event, sponsored by the St. Agnes Visitors Bureau. And we'll follow that up with the Broncos on the Mac. This is a fairly new event. It's only been a few years. Still growing. We're up to approximately 250 vehicles for that event. That takes place June 5th. And then we'll follow up with 1 event in July. That's a Mustang Stampede. That's been a long-standing event. It's been around quite a while. It's a pretty small event, only about 100 vehicles. Still very popular. Been around a while. We'll follow that up for spring and summer with the August 29th Corvette Crossroads. That's a strong event that continues to grow. It's been around a long time. They stage in the Mackinac City side and come north. That is about 300 vehicles. One of my favorite events, like I mentioned in the past. I typically enjoy seeing them in the communities throughout the weekend. And then the staging, you get to see them parked in Mackinac City. I enjoy that. And then the highlight of the weekend for me is I get to be right at the bridge and see them up close passing through. So one of my favorites. That leads into our fall event. September, as you guys know, is our busiest month for events. We have a little bit less traffic, so it's a little more manageable for us. Of course, Bridge Walk, we're all very familiar with that, which takes place September 7th this year. That weekend following Bridge Walk is it is our biggest event. The Antique Tractor Parade, which is sponsored by the Owasso Tractor Club. That is been capped, and they typically are very near the cap of 1,200 tractors. Not only is it our largest event, it's our slowest moving event. It takes several hours. So our focus has always been safety of the tractor riders and at the same time managing traffic flow, because there's typically still a lot of traffic in the area in September. So our focus is to maintain safety for everybody and to keep that public traffic flowing. Did you have a question, Charlie?
No, I just,
It's a popular one.
yeah, I will, I'll make my comments with you.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll follow up, after the Antique Tractor Parade. Another longstanding, popular event is the Truck Parade of Lights. This is a semi show that takes place in St. Agnes. Again, those are staged throughout the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The parade takes place in the evening, which gives us an opportunity to light those trucks up. It's a beautiful display of how we move commerce in this country. It's really unique if you ever get a chance to see it, or if you have seen it. I enjoy it. It's a loud event, but it's very colorful. And we'll follow that up with, just to back up a little bit, the Truck Parade of Lights, that's around 200 semis. That's typically the number that we're looking at. I reached out, I work with the St. Agnes Visitors Bureau, Mackinac City Visitors Bureau, the Mackinac City Chamber, and the Owasso Tractor Club. And I just recently updated those numbers because it's typically most of them increase. Very rarely do I see a drop in participation. Some of these have been going on for over 20 years. You think it would drop at some point, but the interest is still there. Following that up, our last event in September is the ATV crossing. Again, a very popular event that continues to grow. That's about 700 vehicles. This is a fast moving event, fortunately for us. It's a large quantity, but we move them through there pretty quickly. And they really enjoy it. The spectators enjoy it, and the people participating really enjoy it. And it's quite a variety of vehicles that you see for that event. Closing out 2026, our Antique Snowmobile Crossing. It's a small event. 100 sleds typically from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Typically crossing at about 15 miles an hour, maybe. We typically pick up 8 to 10 that break down. So that's something we plan for. We're experienced at. It's pretty much the norm anymore. It does require a lot of extra hands on deck from our maintenance guys, which are very good at it. And again, safety of the riders and while continuing to move the traveling public. So that closes out our 2026 special events, and I'll open it up for questions.
Well, I have a couple comments. I had the privilege a few years back to the tractor parade across the back operation. And what an experience that was. But what's really caught my attention, how much I appreciate it was, if you can imagine, stationary for 1,200 trucks. And you're kind of on a knoll there, and you're looking over this wide opening, and there's 1,200 tractors. And trust me, very, very few were running at the time. What was really amazing, just seeing everything get staged because it's done by the tractor clubs and everything else, perfectly organized. When he stood up there and said, start your tractors like similar to what they do for the I-500.
Yeah.
Can you imagine 1,200 tractors fired up at once? That was unbelievable. Then how they coordinated that thing, because it's had to be what, 2.5 miles away from where they.
Yeah, they stage to the west side of Mackinac City. They have quite a distance before they even get to the foot of the bridge.
And it was really, really impressive. So if you ever have the opportunity, not only to watch the tractors going across the bridge, We'll take a look at that state area, how well that's organized. And when they give the order to start those engines, it's still impressive.
Yeah, Bob does a nice job with it from Owasso Tractor Club. I'm sure you met him.
Yeah, and my second comment would be, I've always been very impressed, Mike, with not only the way that you take the time necessary to organize, but all the work done by the staff in order to pull this off, because there is a lot of safety concerns there. You know, the right lane is shut down, you got motors, semis, and everything else going in left hand lane, faster lanes, but it's always impressed me, these go without a niche at all, just perfectly organized. Well,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Bill.
What's the status of the minis?
You know, I had a funny feeling you might ask about the minis, Bill. And it's a simple answer. It's a semi-annual event. They're based out of Grand Rapids. And, that group that started that event, they did it kind of on a whim, just for fun. And, when I met with them last year, it's growing a little bit too big for them to manage. They're looking to maybe, move into a different, group that would oversee it. But the last time we did it, it's, close to 2,000 vehicles. They come from all over the country. I think there was some maybe even out of the country. That's a popular event, but to answer your question, it's every other year, and this is the off year for the minis.
You got to rest up.
Caroline?
So I know when it started, one of the things they were trying to do was break the record.
Correct.
Did they ever do that?
They were never able to achieve the record. I don't know that magic number. I should know that, but I don't know that magic number. I know they were close. They were within a couple hundred vehicles of achieving that record. And I think that goal is still on the table.
That's how they keep it going.
It's really popular, and it just, from talking to the organizers out of Grand Rapids, it just turned into almost year-round work where they're registering these vehicles and promoting the event and all the things that take place behind the scenes before it actually ever takes place. Anything else?
Any other questions? Thank you, Mike. Very thorough.
Thank you.
Appreciate your good report. Okay, we've got a couple action items here. First one is the chair of the finance committee, Bill Milliken. Bill, please give a financial report, please.
It's committee met here yesterday afternoon with committee members Jesus and Musser, and we covered a variety of topics. Mike Boone yesterday gave us some traffic counts for the previous year, and we had traffic was down 1.4%, and that's attributed to auto trucks, motorhomes being 6% more volume than anticipated, and all of the trailers and commuters were almost 9.1% higher than expected. Interesting trend that Mike pointed out is Canadian tourism. That is down dramatically in this country. So also the international bridge in Sault Ste. Marie has been impacted heavily by it, as have we. So it's declining numbers that we are attributable to the Canadians thumbing their nose to American travel. We are to see how that works out. You all received in advance the 2027 business plan. We reviewed that. It projects traffic at 4.6 million vehicles compared to the 4.566 million that we had this year. Estimating revenue of $28.8 million, operating expense in the plan for 26.4 million. Capital outlays of 2.355 million and projected ending investments in this report of 180,372,000. We did a budget amendment we were recommending for 2026 budget year. We moved a few items around, and the biggest of which is transferring debt resurfacing to 2027-6. Yeah. But we'd like to make a motion that we approve 2027 business plan. We've all had a chance to review.
Chairman, it's been moved. Is there support to the motion to approve the fiscal year 2027 business plan? There's support. It's been moved, supported to approve the fiscal year 2027 business plan and presented. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I believe I'd like to have a roll call.
Chairman Gleason,
Yes.
Vice Chair Milligan,
Yes.
Director Weaver,
Yes.
Member Musser,
Yes.
Member Cheeseman,
Yes.
Member Pataki,
Yes.
Member Aaron's,
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carried. Bill?
And we have one more action item, and that's the budget amendments that we covered yesterday. Has this been handed out? Is this in front of the board members? Summary that we had yesterday in finance committee? Okay. Would like to propose that we approve the 2026 budget amendments of the finance committee reviewed yesterday.
Is there support for the motion? Support. Been moved and supported that the amendments be approved as presented from yesterday. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, can we call the roll again, please?
Chairman Gleason,
Yes.
Vice Chair Milligan,
Yes.
Director Weaver,
Yes.
Member Musser,
Yes.
Member Cheeseman,
Yes.
Member Pataki,
Yes.
Member Aaron's,
Thank you. Motion carried.
That concludes my report.
Thank you, Bill. As always, very good report. Strength. I'm sorry.
I think we have to do something with the audit report too.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't. See that here.
We have the report. Which you also received.
Okay.
It looks a lot like this.
Yes. Yeah.
And with this in hand, we'd like to motion that we approve the audit report. Thank you.
Motion has been made to approve the audit report of September 30th, 2025. Is there support for the motion? It's been moved and supported that the audit report of September 30th, 2025 be approved. Any discussion on the motion?
I would just like to say that someone from Plant Moran presented it to us, and it was a clean audit report. So,
Yeah, as of yesterday.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I didn't know. That's why I thought it was in your first motion you made, Bill.
Chalice and Schaefer, which was released yesterday. And
I should have thought that. Any further discussion on the motion? Yep.
Chairman Gleason,
Yes.
Vice Chair Milligan,
Yes.
Director Weaver,
Yes.
Member Musser,
Yes.
Member Cheeseman,
Yes.
Member Pataki,
Yes.
Member Aaron's,
Yes.
Thank you, Kim. Motion carried. Bill, is there anything else?
That concludes my report.
Thank you. Very good, and very nice. We'll hear from the chair of the Total Fees and Classifications Committee, Caroline, you're the chair. Thank you.
So we met in December, is Zoom meeting, and so your business plan that we all just approved includes 3 toll increases at 50 cents a piece of 27, 29, and 31. And basically that's to cover the redecking projects and capital projects in the future that are going to be quite large. So we're trying to find the best way to do that. In the past, one of the things that we looked at was that in the past, the board has apparently requested that there be a $10 million minimum fund balance. And so we want to keep that in mind in the future. And then we have staff recommendations, which included, this is what we started with, the 2027 to leave the MAC pass at a $4 rate and increase passenger vehicles that don't have MAC passes from 4 to 5 and trucks per axle 5 to 6. And then it does not include one in 2029, but includes another in 2031, continuing to leave the MAC pass at $4, passenger vehicles 5 to 6, and trucks from $6 to $7 per axle. They preferred not having 50-cent increases to keep coinage up, keep the toll takers happy, and keep the cash handling expenses down. So that's why we're looking at $1 increases and maybe fewer increases to that with. The other thing they wanted to consider for that is moving traffic. So one of the other things that was brought up was possibly beef discount. Looking at those increases just as they were, but not considering the off-peak discount, we would have $63 million in 2046. So if everything stays as projected, we would have a nice fund balance at that time.
And that would be a conclusion. Reject.
Yes, that's my understanding. Can
We watched that draft
Yeah,
after we bought all of the numbers. That draft is the lowest.
and that's starting the rejecting procedure process in 2033, 32.
33, 34, and 35, I believe.
Yeah,
And then
okay.
a second one in 43, 44, and 45.
the lowest fund balance is on the projection we have right now on the budget is it's over 10 million. Not a lot. So that would be big.
And those numbers project, cash payments for all work reform. Be no bonding about.
Right. And that was just a preliminary look.
Right.
So Cammie also wrote down the 2025 traffic numbers just to see what it looks like. And right now we do 52% cash, 13%, almost 14% credit cards, and 34% in back pass. And she wrote down the traffic patterns to see when the most people travel, because in order to have a fully dedicated MAC pass lane, you really need, if it's busy, a toll collector can handle 300 transactions in an hour. And we never come close to that per hour for MAC passes, apparently. What she recalculated was from, I think it was 7 to 8 a.m., about 230 MAC passes go through, and these are June numbers that she used just for comparison purposes. From noon to 1, there were only 25 MAC passes that went through. So in a busy travel month, we still really aren't through having a dedicated MAC pass lane all time.
I just want to comment,
Okay,
if we did have a steady MAC pass lane going, it would process way more than 300 cars an hour, but we don't have that many customers to fill the lanes, right?
so,
That's why,
25 of us,
for example, like on holiday weekend, Friday or Sunday returning,
There's no-
that's why you won't see a Mac pass lane.
Right, exactly.
Doesn't take for it to be open.
Correct.
yeah, so she just gave us, that was just to kind of see how far we are from a dedicated MAC pass lane and the work we might have to do to move traffic faster that way. We also discussed the TOLA software, and it is 7 to 8 years old and will need to be replaced, I guess, very quickly. Is that a full replacement? I was just looking at the notes.
We're updating the equipment, hopefully by the end of March, early April.
Okay, with the change order that was approved, last November. Okay, so that would last us. Hopefully. Okay. And then we also plan to talk to Patrick McCarthy, is that his last name? From the state of Michigan, to look into some bonding, to see if that is possibly a better way to go. So we're keeping those options all open. We also plan to look at other bridge holding structures, and provided information on bridges that have recently increased their tolls. And since the meetings, we found out yesterday or the day before what the Gordie Howe Bridge is going to charge, and we are longer and cheaper than most of the bridges. So we do a mile calculation for. But I just wanted to bring up that the Blue Water Bridge and the International Bridge both use the same tolling software that we use. So we're looking to some of their tolling to see how they do it, because we feel that could be more easily incorporated what we have. For instance, the International Bridge has I believe, a per month discount. So if you have so many crossings in a month, your rate goes down. As opposed to how we do it, which is if you pass them a certain number of hours. So just some of the other things that are out there. I think that was about it. We're to have another meeting on, not Tuesday, on Wednesday.
Thank you.
Tuesday is St. Patrick's. The next meeting is on Wednesday. Hopefully Shorty will be able to make it.
First of all, thank you, Caroline, and the other committee members that you all know as part of your department. We put a lot of time on him and the staff and everything else. Amy, there's a lot of work to put this together. To look at every single avenue, all the information, history. Got us going in the right direction. Thank you. All three. Thank you very much. Any, Kim, I'm sorry.
And the other thing we talked about was increasing the tank fee to $2.
Sorry. Yeah, the tag fees. So it's $1 per car tag. And that includes mailing it out often. And with the postage increases and if you did, I'm sure, a cost analysis on the time it takes for a person to process this, we are barely covering our cost with the dollar. So there was some thought as to raising it to $2 or possibly more dollars per car check. But other things with.
I would also like to say that where your big committee's at now, the chair, we're headed for cash payment only, cover all the expenses for the bridge resetting. The fact that you're considering an option to pay some these versus paying for it 100% to help maybe offset the cost of the toll. I really like that concept for you. Done a remarkable job. Together. So, any comments? Anybody? Oh, I'm sorry,
The only
Robert.
comment I just wanted to make sure everyone was aware is we're also realizing technology keeps changing, use of cash, credit cards are changing. So we're, always having a good discussion too about, no one knows exactly the future, but we're also trying to assess how credit cards could become more prevalent, how, maybe there could be things to make the MACTAS or technology makes it easier to, I know there's pluses and minuses. We've had definitely really good discussions about all of that, but we are cognizant of, things changing constantly too. So if anyone wasn't thinking we were worrying, we weren't thinking about that. We are trying to assess how technology changes and credit card and cash use keep changing too. So we're cognizant of that too, and trying to predict as best we can on behalf of them.
Mike, do you have a comment? No, okay, good. Thank you, all of you. I know you got one. There's probably a great start, but really appreciate it. If there's no further questions of the tolls, fees, and classification meeting, we'll move right along to the labor management, committee report, that will be in, oh, I'm sorry. We should, have a motion to accept Caroline's report at this point, or to get it be just an FYI. There's no action, no expenditures. I just,
We would love to increase that tank fee. And that's something that could be plucked out of that.
yeah, but it was just the committee report. That's, I didn't know what part of the report we're approving here. Is it the tag fee only?
No, but I'm just saying, that's kind of separate from the toll increase conversation. We could pluck that out and get that moving.
It's
To the rest of it.
the $3 fee was the
$2.
$2. Yeah, you want that handled today?
Well, it would be nice. I mean,
Okay,
there's not a reason to wait on that.
Yeah. Larry, Barbara, okay with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
motion would be in order. So if you want to be a free, but want to make it.
I'll move that we increase the fee to $2, starting now.
Is there support for the motion?
Support.
Any further discussion on the motion? All in favor of this financial result?
Chairman Gleason,
Yes.
Vice Chair Milliken,
Yes.
Director Weaver,
Yes.
Member Musser,
Yes.
Member Cheeseman,
Yes.
Member Vitante,
Yes.
Member Aaron's.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carried. Okay, as Caroline said, conclude your report. Thank you very much. Very thorough. Okay, under item C, Labor Management Committee report. This will be a closed session, and it's with information purposes only.
So like a motion on that,
Please.
Mr. Chairman. I move that the board meet in closed session under section 8(1)(a) of the Open Meetings Act.
Is there support to that motion? It's been moved and duly supported that the board or the authority enter into closed session for the purpose of discussing personnel issues. Is there any discussion on the motion? Can we call the roll, please?
Chairman Gleason,
Yes.
Vice Chair Milliken,
Yes.
Director Weaver,
Yes.
Member Musser,
Yes.
Member Cheeseman,
Yes.
Member Vitante,
Yes.
Member Aaron's.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you very much. At this time, we'll just give the opportunity for everybody to enter the room. waiting. Okay, everyone, need a motion to, reconvene the public hearing. It is, 11:15. A motion would be in order to reconvene that public hearing.
I so move.
Been moved, supported that the public, meeting reconvene. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Welcome back, everyone. The next item on the agenda under 9 is the 2026 meeting schedule. Right now, we have the proposed meetings in July 7th and 8th, 2026, and for November 5th and 6th, 2026. Everybody kind of concur with those, in the locations will be the Mackerel Island and Marquette. Everybody still okay with those two dates and the location?
Yes.
That's strictly informational. Is there any other business to come before the authority? Well, hearing none, before we part, I want to wish everybody a happy and safe St. Patty's Day. I just enjoy the day. With that being said, a motion to adjourn be in order. Been moved and supported, Mackinac Bridge Authority meeting being adjourned. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.